we're going to go ahead and start. So welcome everyone. It's good to be with you. I'm going to say that again. It's good to be with you. Let's pause on that for a moment. So there's about 650, 600, 700 folks here right now. Over 1,000 people registered for this meeting tonight. And as you just saw, they're from almost every state in the country. It might literally be every state, we actually don't know. What that means is that we have people from a lot of red states and a lot of blue states. You're on this call tonight with people from the states that embraced President Trump with open arms and from states who are all about Biden. You're on this call tonight with people from the states where there's still no clear result, where there will be a recount, people who voted mail-in, people who voted in person, probably a few people who didn't vote at all or used a protest vote. We're all here. We're all here tonight, and in a way, we're all here every night. We just don't come together this way. But we live side by side, drive past one another on the highway, past one another in the grocery store. This is a strange moment. In the last 24 hours, we've gone from a nation holding its breath to a nation that is still sort of holding its breath. Or we've exhaled and inhaled and shrieked with joy and then despair and then become quiet, tried to go to bed, slept poorly if you're like me, woken up too soon. In a way, there's nothing to do, and it would feel better if there were something to do. More on that later. It feels a little like things are fine on the surface, but there's this gnawing feeling in the stomach that won't go away. We're still but tense, emotional, and also stationary. I know for a fact that people on this call have all the emotions you can think of right now. In the last 24 hours, I've heard elation, rage, fear, excitement, tentative hopefulness, angry determination, grief, relieved laughter. And the thing I've probably heard the most of is simple sadness. Because the one thing that is clear is that we are still so divided. I want to encourage us to be gentle with one another tonight. We're all here, but we're in very different internal places. Also, we have folks here who probably have a diversity of views about what is in fact going on, because they're drawing on very different news sources and listen through different interpretive lenses. And yet, here we are. There's a way in which that's the most profound thing I can say to you tonight. It's just, here we are. We've come a long way together, friends. Braver Angels was born almost 4 years ago, exactly. A little bit under that, I guess in 3 weeks, it'll be 4 years old. And as some of you, probably a lot of you know, we started in, yes, David Lapp, South Lebanon, Ohio, with a workshop that was a weekend where the thought was, what would happen if we bring 10 Trump supporters and 10 at the time Clinton supporters together and just see if they can talk together. Bill Doherty came in and saved the day by giving us a process that actually made that good, and people just loved it. It was so powerful. And when everyone walked out of that room, we knew that there was something special here. And so then that summer of 2017, we got on a bus and went all over the country running workshops. And then we did it again in the fall. And then the organization just began to grow and grow. And ours has always been an organization where people mostly come to us. They say, I want to help. I want to do this in my community. I want to be a leader in this and figure out how to bring us together. And so now we have a whole suite of workshops. We brought in, the Braver Angels debate program. We have people in all 50 states. I think the current number is 63 alliances. And I also want to share that we're in the middle of a massive growth wave. Our membership has doubled, I believe, in the last 3 or 4 months. This week, we raised $16,000 on grassroots fundraising alone, which is a record. And there's just a lot that is on the rise. And that's wonderful. We've also run, hundreds of workshops, hundreds of debates. People have found one another in communities all over the country. And so we've traveled a long way together. And it's funny, this growth wave is great, but what I feel right now is that while that's good, it doesn't necessarily answer what my heart is saying and asking right now. But I'll tell you what does, our organization's heart. That heart is comprised of 2 things. First and foremost, our relationships with one another. The deep glue of Braver Angels isn't our structure or our workshops or God forbid our funding. It's the fact that we can meet each other here. We can, and we do, remember who we are, who each other is. We can find one another again. We can meet for the first time. Ask anybody who's really committed to Braver Angels, and they'll tell you about the people they know on the other side. Often it's one person or one interaction, like Blue Mark Epstein and Red Jennifer in Gastonia, North Carolina, who bonded over their children's dance classes. So it's our relationships with one another first. The second thing is our belief that this can be better. There is something we can do here. And even if we ultimately fail, we have to try. We are Braver Angels, we're stubborn people. And we're also people of faith. And I mean little f faith. We're here because we want to be part of the solution. And we have faith that there is something we can do. We're not willing to sit by and watch our country and our communities fall apart one by one. But even more, we have faith in each other. There's a deep relationship between our belief that this can be better and our relationships to each other. Every time I start to lose that faith that we can get somewhere with this, I talk to Kieran O'Connor or Leslie Lapato or Carlos Hernandez, and I can't even tell you how many fantastic people I've met through this organization. And as soon as I talk to you all, I remember these people are wonderful. They're so good. And if I'm with them, I can do anything.